Now, round 3 is against blue-black control. I do remember this. At least I hope I do. And we open on a pretty iffy hand again. At the same time, this deck's pretty bad at mulliganing. If you hit enough lands, I usually keep it. As long as it's not all lands. But we let his Preordain go. We want to try to hit a discard spell with that Spell Pierce if we can, or a Jace. So we're going to let his Preordains go through. Fortunately, we draw on our Mana Leak, so things are looking up. He's not drawing any discards, so he's got to respect our combo, even though we don't actually have it in our hand. He doesn't know that. So we're continuing to play lands. We're outlanding him. This is doing really well right now. But we're drawing a little too many lands right now. If we could draw an Exarch at some point, we'd actually be doing pretty well here. So we Terramorphic for another blue. You want to have more blue than red. You like to be able to play all your Spell Pierce effects and Mana Leaks. Red is you only need 2 to 4. 2 if you want to play a Splintertwin on a turn, and 4 if you want to play 2 red cards, because all your red cards cost double red. But for the most part, so we Mana Leak his Jace there. He could have paid, but he had to respect our Deceiver Exarch, so he didn't pay for it. We Seagate Oracle there, see if we can find any gas. We find a Jace Bellerin, but we don't want to play it right yet. Unfortunately for us, he has Creeping Tar-Pits in play, and we don't have any Tectonic Edges, and that's a problem. So we let him get a Jace into play. It's just kind of annoying. He might have let it Spell Pierce through, but I think he just would have paid it. So in response to this Preordain, we're going to bounce his Jace back to his hand. He Mana Leaks us. We Spell Pierce the Mana Leak. He knew we had that in our hands, so that's not that big of a deal. So we Jace. We've got a little bit too many lands in our hand right now. So we Splintertwin up a Seagate Oracle. So here, he's a little short on lands though. He dismembers our Seagate Oracle. We find a Mana Leak. Unfortunately, he has his Duress right for the Mana Leak, so that's pretty annoying. He Jaces our Jace, and we need to top deck really well to get out of this. Mana Leak is nice, but we really wanted to see something really nice, a lot nicer than that. So he gets a Jace down. We into the Royal it. He into the Royals his own Jace back, I guess, to draw a card, so we counter that. We draw a Jace off of that. If we had, I think we've drawn a, so we have a combo now, but it's likely he has kill in his hand. He Inquisitions us. We play the Deceiver in response, so he doesn't get to remove it from our hand, but he shows that he has the Doomblade for it. Not right now, but soon. He Jaces our Jace. We have to go for the combo because we have nothing else going, and he has it actually into the Royal, which is kind of annoying. So we're not dead yet, but we're doing a lot worse than he is. Wormcoil Engine is not the worst threat. He'd rather have a Grave Titan against us, but it is still something that's going to kill us soon. He activates both his Tar Pits to attack here. Shows he doesn't have much gas in his hand, but we've got a lot of lands in our setup too. So we tap down the Wormcoil. He has Gataxian Probe is nice there, but he has a Doomblade for our Seagate Oracle and a Volition Reigns for our Deceiver, which is pretty funny. So we don't top deck out of it and we lose the game. So we're going to go on to game 2 of round 3. I was really feeling pretty bad after that game. It wasn't like the best. Again, we open on a hand that's not the greatest. But again, I feel like we have to keep it. We have half of our combo in our hand, so we can. All we have to do is draw one card, and he has to be worried about our combo. Our hand was immune to Inquisition on Kozilek until, well, it still is, but and we redrew a Splintertwin. So that is interesting. We're drawing lands like we want to. We play Jace here because we have no recourse. Drawing the third Jace was kind of bad. I was wondering if he had surgical extraction in his hand and made us discard one. That would have been like the worst. So he bounces our Jace and plays his own. We play our own Jace and put Terramorphic into play. Here he plays Liliana, searches his deck for a card. I guess he's not expecting us to play the Jace, because Jace ruins Liliana's ultimate effect, minus effect. So we +2, put down the member side he put on top of his deck. We Fate Sealed it away. So he makes his discard and bounces Jace back. We get to play Inferno Titan here, take Liliana down to 1. Unfortunately, he has the Doom Blade, if I remember correctly. So yeah, he has the Doom Blade. So we're back to working with Jace here. He's probably going to make us discard this Splintertwin. I +2 to ensure we don't die the Creeping Tar Pit next turn. At least we get rid of the Inquisition of Kozilek, which is nice. He gets to attack Jace down to 2, which means we can, if we Fate Sealed, we could have survived another turn, but I wanted to find a spell. I was hoping I could find a Deceiver or a Tectonic Edge. Instead I found an Inquisition, which is not worse, but it's interesting. It killed Liliana, which is nice, but we're without Jace. So we need to go all out here. Hopefully, he's only got 1 card in his hand. He's been using Creeping Tar Pit, so that means he might not have enough. Here, I was going to only do it twice so we could replay Inferno if he did have an End of the Royal in his hand. But the way he was passing priority, I could tell that he was F6ing. He didn't want to bounce our Inferno there. He was trying to dig for a Doomblade. He did not find one, so we win the game. So let's move on to game 3 of round 3. Another Nail Biter. So this hand is actually pretty good setup. I don't like to have Inferno in my opening hand, but you could do worse. So we preordain into a land and a Mana Leak. We keep them both. Things are looking pretty good for us. I'm sorry, Jace and a Mana Leak. So we have 4 lands in hand. A Jace. Things are looking great. Tectonic Edge is a great top deck there. We're going to be able to get rid of that Creeping Tar Pit. So he didn't see... He had a good Taxing Probes at the beginning of the game, but he didn't see both of our Mana Leaks, which is nice. So we get to resolve a Jace here. We have to +2 to ensure he doesn't kill Jace with Creeping Tar Pit. We leave the Duress on top because I didn't know if he had another Jace in his hand. If he had to Duress us and he didn't have another way to kill Jace, we would have been way ahead of him. Unfortunately, he does, and he gets to take away one of our cards with the Duress there. He takes away our Splintertwin. So our preordains here. Dispel's not its best here. Dispel is meant to protect the combo. It's not meant to counter Duresses and Planeswalkers. It does counter spells, which is also nice. So we have to bounce his Jace here. Not looking good right now. He Tectonic Edges away our Tectonic Edge because he knows he has Inferno Titan. We have Inferno Titan in our hand. So he gets to play his Jace Bellerin again here. Again, annoying. But we get to play... So we play our own Jace Bellerin here to kill his Jace instead of Inferno Titan. Just because I don't want to run into Mana Leak. If I can get up to 7 mana, I can play Inferno Titan and Dispel at the same time. When he starts swinging with this Creeping Tar Pit there, that tells me that he is he doesn't have enough stuff to do in his hand, or it's just removal. So I figure we'll play around what we can now, but we can be more aggressive. So I play my Deceiver Exarch here. He's got to respect the fact that I have him in play now. If I draw a Splintertwin right there, I just win the game, but I don't. So now I need to play a Inferno Titan. Assuredly he's going to kill it or Mana Leak it, which he did. I was hoping to draw 7th mana by then, but we didn't. He has a Doomblade, as we discussed, and Creeping Tar Pits us again. So we have to play another Inferno Titan. Hopefully he doesn't... This time we have the Dispel for any Mana Leaks he has. He doesn't have it. So he goes to Into the Royal, our Inferno Titan there. We Dispel it, and he has a Doomblade in his hand. So he baited us out well, but at the same time we didn't have any other play. I wasn't going to let him make us go back on a turn. Although that does tap him out, and we get a Jason to play. It's looking really well now. Things are looking really well. So he plays Liliana, which is fine. He makes his discard. We just bounce Liliana in response. So he can either replay Liliana or tackle the Creeping Tarpit. He's decided he wants to go for our life total. Fortunately for us, we have 4 instead of 3, which means we have the setup. So there we brainstorm into Deceiver and Splintertwin. We know our opponent has Liliana, so we keep the Splintertwin on top of our deck. He Inquisitions us. We play the Deceiver in response. He Liliana's away our land, and the Splintertwin comes off the top of our deck as we planned it. And here our opponent makes us go off. Sometimes I do that, and it can take up to 1 to 2 minutes to go off. As you see, I always go over on the amount of creatures I generate with a combo, just so I don't lose randomly to a miscount or a lack of concentration or whatever it is. Or some random effect. Of course, he has no cards in his hand, but it's better safe than sorry. I actually generate a full 1.5 rows to 2 rows before I even start counting how many creatures I have. What I like to do is move my trigger window right next to my creature and F2, and it's still a lot of clicking, but you can do, it should be fine. I also like to keep my original creature back just in case I didn't get the win. I can create infinite chump blockers on his turn, whatever I need to. So on to round 4. We'll see you there.